September 2020, you wanted more, but you already had way too many. You've been nutty boys, now young nutty man, got feeling there's no fucking plan. Got any plan? Got a strategy? Got a budget? Guess we can all shake our hands on it. Any final words? Okay.
Wherefore, rejoice. Please turn off your mobile phones. What conquest brings she home? The bathrooms are located down the veranda to your left. You blocks, you stones, you more than senseless things. This show is being filmed. You hard hearts, you cruel people of Rome. This is a dress rehearsal. Please be forgiving. Knew you not Pompey? There will be an intermission of 10 minutes. Many a time and oft have you climbed to walls and battlements, to towers and windows, to chimney tops, your infants in your arms, there to sit the livelong day in patient expectation to see great Pompey pass the streets of Rome. And now, do you put on your best attire? And now, do you call out a holiday? And now, do you strew flowers in her way that comes in triumph over Pompey's blood? Be gone. Run to your houses. Fall upon your knees. Pray to the gods to intermit the plague that needs must light after this ingratitude. This way will I disrobe the images. It's no matter. Let no images be hung with Caesar's trophies. No? Okay. I'll about and drive away the vulgar from the streets. These growing feathers plucked from Caesar's wings will make her fly an ordinary pitch. Who else would soar above the view of us all and leave us in servile fearfulness?
Mark Antony, set on and leave no ceremony out.
Caesar!
Who is it in the press that calls on me? I hear a tongue shriller than all the music cry, Caesar. Speak. Caesar is turned to hair.
Beware the Ides of March.
What man is that? What sayest thou? Speak once again.
Beware the Ides of March.
He is a dreamer. Let us leave him. Pass.
Will you go see the order of the course? Not I. Brutus, I do observe you now of late. You bear too stubborn and too strange a hand over your friend that loves you. Cassius, be not deceived. If I have veiled my look, I turn the trouble of my countenance merely upon myself. Vexed I am of late with passions of some difference, conceptions only proper to myself, which give some soil, perhaps, to my behaviours. But let not, therefore, my good friends be grieved, nor construe any further my neglect, than that poor Brutus, with himself at war, forgets the shows of love to other men. Then, Brutus, I have much mistook your passions, by means whereof this breast of mine hath buried thoughts of great value, worthy cogitations. Tell me, good Brutus, can you see your face? No, Cassius, for the eye sees not itself, but by reflection, by some other things. 'Tis just, and it is very much lamented, Brutus, that you have no such mirrors as will turn your hidden worthiness into your eye, that you might see your shadow. Into what dangers would you lead me, Cassius? That you would have me seek into myself for that which is not in me. And since you know you cannot see yourself so well as by reflection, I, your glass, will modestly discover to yourself that of yourself which you yet know not of. What means this shouting? I do fear the people choose Caesar for their queen. Aye, do you fear it? Then must I think you would not have it so? I would not, Cassius, yet I love her well. But wherefore do you hold me here so long? What is it that you would impart to me? If it be aught toward the general good, set honour in one eye and death in the other, for let the gods so speed me, as I love the name of honour more than I fear death. I know that virtue to be in you, Brutus. I was born free as Caesar. So were you. We both have fed as well, and we can both endure the winter's cold as well as she. For once, upon a raw and gusty day, the troubled Tiber chafing with her shores, Caesar said to me, "Darest thou, Cassius, now leap in with me into this angry flood and swim to yonder point?" Upon the word, accoutered as I was, I plunged in and bade her follow. So, indeed, she did. The torrent roared, and we did buffet it with lusty sinews, throwing it aside and stemming it with hearts of controversy. But ere we could arrive the point proposed, Caesar cried, "Help me, Cassius, or I sink!" This woman is now become a god, and Cassius is a wretched creature, and must bend his body if Caesar carelessly but nod on him. She had a fever when she was in Spain. And when the fit was on her, I did mark how she did shake. 'Tis true, this god did shake as a sick girl. Ye gods, it doth amaze me, a woman of such a feeble temper should so get the start of the majestic world and bear the palm alone. Why? Caesar doth bestride the narrow world like a colossus, and we, petty men, walk under her huge legs and peep about to find ourselves dishonourable graves. Men at some time are masters of their fates. The fault, dear Brutus, is not in our stars, but in ourselves, that we are underlings. Brutus and Caesar. What should be in that, Caesar? Why should that name be sounded more than yours? Write them together. Yours is as fair a name. Sound them. It doth become the mouth as well. Weigh them. It is as heavy. Upon what meat doth this our Caesar feed, that she is grown so great? Age, thou art shamed. Now is it Rome indeed, and room enough, when there is in it but one, only. What you have said, I will consider. What you would work me to, I have some aim. How I have thought of this And of these times I shall recount hereafter. For this present I would not, so with love I might entreat you, be any further moved. What you have to say I will with patience hear, and find a time both meet to hear and answer such high things. Until then, most noble friend, chew upon this. Brutus had rather be a villager than to repute himself a Roman under these hard conditions, as this time is like to lay upon us. I am glad that my weak words have struck but thus much show of fire from Brutus. The games are done, and Caesar is returning. As they pass by, pluck Cinna by the sleeve, and she will, after her sour fashion, tell you what hath preceded worthy note today. I will do so, but look you, Cassius, the angry spot doth glow on Caesar's brow, as we have seen her in the Capitol. Cinna will tell you what the matter is.
Mark Antony. Caesar, my lord, let me have men about me that are fat, sleek-headed men and men that sleep a night. Yond Cassius has a lean and hungry look. He thinks too much. Such men are dangerous. Fear him not, Caesar. He's not dangerous. He's a noble Roman and well given. Would he were fatter, yet I fear him not. Yet, if my name were liable to fear, I do not know the man I should fear so much as that spare Cassius. He reads much. He's a great observer and looks quite through the deeds of men. He loves no plays as thou dost, Antony. He hears no music. Seldom does he smile, and smiles in such a sort as if he mocked his spirit that could be moved to smile at anything. Such men as he be never at heart's ease when they behold a greater than themselves, and therefore are they very dangerous. I'd rather tell thee what is to be feared than what I fear, for always I am Caesar. You plucked me by the cloak. Would you speak with me?
Aye, Cinna. Tell us what hath chanced today that Caesar looks so sad.
Well, there was a crown offered her, and, being offered her, she put it by thus with the back of her hand, and then the people fell a-shouting.
What was the second noise for?
Why, for that too.
They shouted thrice. What was the last cry for?
Why, for that too.
Was the crown offered her thrice?
Aye, marry it was, and she put it by thrice, and at every putting by mine honest neighbours shouted.
Well, who offered her the crown?
Why, Antony.
Tell us the manner of it, gentle sinner.
Well, I could as well be hanged as tell the manner of it. It was mere foolery. I did not mark it. I saw Antony offer her the crown, yet 'twas not the crown neither. 'Twas one of these coronets. And, as I said, she put it by thus. But, to my thinking, she would fain have had it. Then she offered it her again. She put it by again, but, to my thinking, she was very loath to lay her fingers off it. And then she offered it her the third time. She put it the third time by, and then the rabblement hooted and clapped their chapped hands and threw up their sweaty nightcaps because Caesar refused the crown, and uttered such a deal of stinking breath that it nearly choked Caesar, for she swounded and fell down in it, and for mine own part, I durst not laugh for fear of opening my lips and receiving the bad air. Oh, she fell down in the marketplace and was foamed at mouth and was speechless. I am sure Caesar fell down. If the tag-rag people did not clap her and hiss her according as she pleased and displeased, well, like they used to the players in the theatre, I'm no true Roman.
What said she when she came unto herself?
Marry, when she perceived the common herd was glad she refused the crown, she plucked me ope her doublet and offered them her throat to cut. And had I been woman of any occupation, if I had not taken her at a word, I might go to hell amongst the rogues. And so she fell.
And after that...
When she came to herself again, she said, oh, if I've done or said anything amiss, she begged their worships think it was her infirmity. 3 or 4 wenches near where I stood cried, alas, poor soul, and forgave her with all their heart. But there's no heed to be taken of them. If Caesar had stabbed their mother, they'd have done no less.
Will you dine with me tomorrow?
Aye, if your mine be whole, and I be alive, and your dinner worth the eating.
Good. I will expect you.
Well, do so. Farewell both.
What a blunt lady is this grown to be. She was quick mettle when she went to school. For this time I will leave you. Tomorrow I will wait for you. I will do so. Till then, think of the world. Well, Brutus, thou art noble. Yet I see thy honourable mind may be wrought from that it is proposed. Therefore, it is meet that noble minds keep ever with their likes. For who so firm that cannot be seduced? Caesar doth bear me hard, but she loves Brutus. If I were Brutus now and he were Cassius, he should not humour me. I will this night in several hands in at his windows throw, as if they came from several citizens, writings, all tending to the great opinion that Rome holds of his name, wherein obscurely Caesar's ambition shall be glanced at. And after that, let Caesar seat her sure, for we will shake her, or worse days endure.
Why are you breathless? Why stare you so?
Why are you not moved when all the sway of earth shakes like a thing unfirm? Oh, countrymen, I have seen the scolding winds rive the knotty oaks, and I have seen the ambitious ocean swell and rage and foam to be exalted with threatening clouds, but never till tonight, no, never till now did I walk through a tempest dropping fire. Either there is a civil strife in heaven, or else the world too saucy with the gods incenses them to send destruction.
Why, saw you anything more wonderful?
A common slave, you know him well by sight, held up his left hand, which did flame and burn like 20 torches joined, and yet his hand, not sensible of fire, remained unscorched. And besides, I have not since put up my sword. Against the Capitol I met a lion, which stared at me and then went surly by without annoying me. And upon a heap there were drawn 100 ghastly women, transformed with their fear, who said they saw men all in fire walking up and down the streets. And when all these prodigies do so conjointly meet, let not men say, oh, they have their reasons, they are natural. For I believe they are portentous things upon the climate they do point upon.
Comes Caesar to the capital tomorrow.
Aye, for she did bid Mark Antony bring word she would be there tomorrow.
Well, good night then, sinner. This disturbed sky is not to walk in.
Who's there?
A Roman?
Sinner. By your voice?
You've a good ear. Cassius, what a night is this?
A very pleasing night to honest men.
Who ever knew the heavens men are so?
Those that have known the earth so full of faults. For mine own part, I have bared my bosom, and when the cross-blue lightning seemed to open the breast of heaven, I did present myself, even in the aim and very flash of it.
But wherefore did you tempt the heavens so? It is the part of men to fear and tremble when the most mighty gods by token sent these dreadful heralds to astonish us.
You are dull, sinner. Check. You look pale and gaze and put on fear and cast yourself in wonder to see the strange impatience of the heavens. But if you would consider the true cause, why all these fires? Why all these gliding ghosts? Why birds and beasts from quality and kind? Why old men full and children calculate? Why all these things change their preformed natures to monstrous faculty? Why? You shall find that heaven hath infused them with these spirits to make them instruments of fear and warning unto some monstrous state. Now could I, sinner, name to you a woman, most like this dreadful night, that thunders, lightens, opens graves, and roars as doth the lion in the Capitol. A woman, no mightier than thyself, or me, and yet prodigious grown. and fearful as these strange eruptions are.
'Tis Caesar that you speak of, is it not?
Let be who it is. Our fathers are dead, and we are governed with our mother's spirits.
Indeed. They say the people tomorrow mean to establish Caesar as a queen, and she will wear her crown on sea and land in every place save here in our city.
I know where I will wear this dagger then. Cassius from bondage will deliver Cassius. For life, being weary of these worldly bars, never lacks power to dismiss itself. If I know this, know all the world besides. That part of tyranny that I do bear, I can shake off at pleasure.
So can I. So every bondman in their own hand bears the power to cancel their own captivity.
And why should Caesar be a tyrant then? Poor woman. I know she'd not be a wolf, but that she sees the Romans are but sheep. Those that with haste will start a mighty fire begin it with weak straws. What trash is Rome? What rubbish and what offal when it serves for the base matter to illuminate such a vile thing as Caesar? But, oh, grief. Where hast thou led me?
You speak to sinner, and to such a one that is no flaring telltale. Give me your hand, be fractious for redress of all these griefs, and I will put this foot of mine as far as he who goes farthest.
There's a bargain made. Now know you, sinner, I have moved already to undergo with me an enterprise of honourable, dangerous consequence, most bloody, fiery, and most terrible. 2 or 3 of us have seen strange sights.
Cassius, if you could but win the noble Brutus...
Be you content, sinner. Take this. Throw it in at his window.
Well, I'll hie and so bestow these papers as you bade me.
Soon, sinner, you and I will yet ere day see Brutus at his house. 3 parts of him is ours already, and the man entire, upon the next encounter, yields him ours.
He sits high in all the people's hearts, and that which would appear offence in us, his countenance, like richest alchemy, will transform to virtue and to worthiness.
Him and his worth and our great need of him, you have right well conceited. Let us go. We will awake him and be sure of him. Portia! Portia, I say!
You called, my lord?
Get me a taper in my study, Portia.
I will, my lord.
It must be by Caesar's death. For mine own part, I know no personal cause to spurn at her but for the general. She would be crowned. How that might change her nature. There's the question. Crown her that. And then, I grant, we put a sting in her that at her will she might do danger with. The abuse of greatness is when it disjoins remorse from power. But 'tis common proof that lowliness is young ambition's ladder, whereto the climber upward turns her face, but when she once attains the upmost round, she then unto the ladder turns her back, looks into the clouds, scorning the base degrees by which she did ascend. So Caesar may, and therefore think her as a serpent's egg, which, hatched, would, as her kind, grow mischievous, and kill her in the shell.
The taper burneth in your closet, sir. Searching the window for a flint, I found these papers all bound up, and I'm sure they did not lie there when I went to bed.
Get you to bed again. It is not day. Is not tomorrow, girl, the Ides of March.
I know not, sir.
Look in the calendar and bring me word.
I will, sir.
The exhalations whizzing in the air give so much light that I may read by them. Brutus, thou sleepst. Awake and see thyself. Shall Rome, etc. Speak, strike, redress. Brutus, thou sleepst, awake. Such instigations have been often dropped where I have took them up. Shall Rome, etc. Thus must I piece it out. Shall Rome stand under one woman's awe? Rome. Speak, strike, redress. Am I entreated to speak and strike? Oh, Rome, I make thee promise, if the redress will follow, thou receivest thy full petition at the hands of Brutus.
Sir, much is wasted, 14 days.
Since Cassius first did wet me against Caesar, I have not slept. Between the acting of a dreadful thing and the first motion, all the interim is like a phantasma or a hideous dream. The genius and the mortal instruments are then in council, and the state of man, like to a little kingdom, suffers then the nature of an insurrection.
Sir, 'tis your brother Cassius at the door.
Is he alone?
No, there is one with him.
Let them enter. They are the faction. Oh, conspiracy. Shamest thou to show thy dangerous brow by night when evils are most free? Oh, then by day. Where wilt thou find a cavern dark enough to mask thy monstrous visage? Seek none conspiracy. Hide it in smiles and affability. Good morrow, Brutus. Do we trouble you? I have been up this hour, awake all night. Give me your hands, and let us swear resolution. If not the face of man, the sufferance of our souls, the time's abuse, what need we any spur but our own cause to prick us to redress? What other bond than secret Romans that have spoke the word and will not palter? What other oath than honesty to honesty engaged that this shall be? Or we will fall for it.
Shall none other be touched, but only Caesar.
Sinner, well urged. I think it is not meet that Mark Antony, so well beloved of Caesar, should outlive her. For you know who means, if she improve them, may well stretch so far as to annoy us all. Our course will seem too bloody, Caius Cassius, to cut the head off and then hack the limbs like wrath and death and envy afterward. For Antony is but a limb of Caesar. We all stand up against the spirit of Caesar. And in the spirit of woman, there's no blood. Oh, that we then could come by Caesar's spirit and not dismember Caesar, but, alas, Caesar must bleed for it. And, friends, let's kill her boldly, but not wrathfully. This shall make our purpose necessary, not envious, which, so appearing to the common eye, we shall be called purgers, not murderers. And for Mark Antony, think not of her, for she can do no more than Caesar's arm when Caesar's head is off. And yet I fear her, for in the engrafted love she bears to Caesar. Alas, good Cassius, do not think of her.
Oh, have no fear. Let her not die, for she will live and laugh at this hereafter.
The clock hath stricken 3.
'Tis time to part.
But it is doubtful yet whether Caesar will come forth today or no, for she is superstitious grown of late.
If she be so resolved, I can o'ersway her. Oh, let me work, for I will give her humour the true bent, and I will bring her to the capital.
Nay, we will all of us be there to fetch her.
Be that so, and fail not then. There are those out there that doth bear Caesar hard, who rated them for speaking well of Pompey. I wonder none of you have thought of them.
The morning comes upon us. We'll leave you, Brutus. And, gentle friends, gather yourselves. But both remember what you have said. and show yourselves true Romans. Good, gentle friends. Look fresh and merrily. Let not our looks put on our purposes, but bear it, as our Roman actors do. And so good morrow to you, everyone.
Brutus, my lord.
Portia, what mean you? Wherefore rise you now? It is not for your health thus to commit your weak condition to the raw, cold morning.
Not for yours neither. You've ungently, Brutus, stole from my bed. And yesternight, at supper, you suddenly arose and moved about, musing and sighing with your arms across. And when I asked you what the matter was, you stared on me with ungentle looks. Before, with an angry wafture of your hand, gave sign for me to leave you. So I did, fearing to strengthen that impatience. It will not let you eat, nor talk, nor sleep, and if it could work so much upon your shape as it hath much prevailed upon your condition, I should not know you, Brutus. Dear my lord, make me acquainted with your cause for grief.
I am not well in health, and that is all.
Brutus is wise, and were he not in health, he would embrace the means to come by it.
Why? So I do. Good Portia, go to bed.
Is Brutus sick? And is it physical? To walk unbraced and suck up the humours of this dank morning? What? Is Brutus sick? And will he steal out of his wholesome bed to deal vile contagion of the night to add unto his sickness? No, my Brutus. You have some sick offence within your mind, which by right and virtue of my place I ought to know of. And so, upon my knee I charm you, by my once commended beauty, and by all your vows of love, and by that great vow which did us incorporate and make one, that you unfold to me yourself, your half, why you are heavy, and who tonight has had to resort to you, for there have been two who hid their faces even from dark.
Kneel not, gentle Portia.
I should not need if you were gentle, Brutus. Within the bonds of marriage, tell me, Brutus, is it accepted that I should know no secrets that appertain to you? Am I yourself, but as it were in sort or imitation, to keep with you at meals, comfort your bed, and talk to you sometimes? Dwell I but in the suburbs of your good pleasure? If it be so, Portia is Brutus's harlot and not his wife.
You are my true and honourable wife.
If this was so, then I should know the secret. I grant that I am a consort, but withal, a consort that Lord Brutus took to wife. Think you I am no stronger than yourself? Tell me your secrets, I will not disclose them. I have made strong proof of my constancy, giving myself a voluntary wound here in the thigh. Think you I can bear that with patience and not my husband's secrets?
Oh, gods! Render me worthy of this noble wife.
Nor heaven nor earth have been at peace tonight. Thrice hath Calpurnia cried out in her sleep, "Help! Ho, they murder Caesar!" There you go. Go bid the priest to present sacrifice and bring me their opinions of success. Calpurnia? What mean you, Caesar? Think you to stir forth? You shall not stir out of your house today. Caesar shall forth. The things that threatened me never looked but on my back. When they should see the face of Caesar, they are vanished. Caesar, I never stood on ceremonies, but now they fright me. There is one within that, besides the things that we have heard and seen, recounts most horrid sights seen by the watch. A lioness hath whelped in the streets, and graves have yawned and yielded up their dead. Fierce, fiery warriors made battle upon the sky in ranks and squadrons and right form of war which drizzled blood upon the capital. The noise of battle hurtled in the streets, and ghosts did shriek and squeal, "O Caesar!" These things are beyond all reason, and yet I fear them. What can be avoided? Whose end is purposed by the mighty gods. Yet Caesar shall go forth, for these things are to the world in general as to Caesar. When beggars die, there are no comets seen. The heavens themselves blaze forth the death of princes. Cowards die many times before their death. The valiant never taste of death but once. It seems to me most strange that men should fear, knowing that death, a necessary end, will come when it will come. What say the augurs? They would not have me stir forth today. They would not have me stir forth today. The gods do this in shame of cowardice. Caesar should be a beast without a heart if she should stay at home today for fear. No, danger knows full well that I am more dangerous than she. We are two lions littered in one day, and I, the elder and more terrible, and Caesar shall go forth. Alas, my lord, your wisdom is consumed in confidence. Do not go forth today. Say it is my fear that keeps you at home and not your own. We'll send Mark Antony to the Senate House to tell them so. Let me, upon my knee, prevail in this. Mark Antony will say I am not well, and for thy humour, I will stay at home today. Here's Marcus Brutus, he shall tell them so.
Caesar, all hail. Good morrow, worthy Caesar. I come to fetch you to the Senate House.
And you are come in very happy time to tell them that I will not come today. Cannot is false, and dare not, falser. I will not come today. Tell them so, Brutus. Say that she is sick. Shall Caesar send a lie? Have I in conquest stretched my arms so far to be afraid to tell greybeards the truth? No, I will not come today. Tell them so, Brutus.
Most mighty Caesar, let me know some cause, lest I be laughed at when I tell them so.
The cause is in my will. I will not come. But for thy private satisfaction, because I love you, I will let you know. Calpurnia here, my wife, stays me at home today. She dreamt that she saw my statue from 100 pipes running pure blood, and many smiling men came to bathe their hands in it. And this has she taken for evils and omens and evils imminent, and upon her knee hath begged me to stay at home today.
This dream is all misinterpreted. It was a vision fair and fortunate. Your statue, spouting pure blood in many pipes, in which so many smiling Romans bathed, signifies that from you, great Rome shall suck reviving blood, and that great men, shall press for relics, stains, tinctures, and cognizance. This by Calpurnia's dream is signified.
Oh, and thus have you well expounded it. How foolish do your fears seem now, Calpurnia. I am ashamed that I did yield to them. Bring me my cloak, for I will go. What is 'clock?
Caesar, it is strucken 8.
I thank thee for your pains and courtesies. Mark Antony, who revels long a night, is notwithstanding up. Good morrow, Antony. Oh. So too, most noble Caesar. Bid them to prepare within. I am to blame to be thus waited for. I have an hour's talk in store for you today. Remember that you called on me. Be near me that I may remember you.
Caesar, I will. And so near will I be, dear friend, that you shall wish I had been further.
Caesar! Beware, Brutus! Take heed of Cassius! Come not near Brutus! Have an eye to Cassius. Mark well, sinner, mark her well. Brutus loves thee not. There is but one mind in all of these, and it is bent against Caesar. If thou beest not immortal, look about you. Security gives way to conspiracy. The mighty gods defend thee. If thou reads this, Caesar, thou mayest live. If not, the fates with traitors do contrive. The Ides of March
are come.
I, Caesar, but not gone. The Ides of March are come. Caesar, read the schedule, for it is the suit that touches Caesar the nearest.
What touches us ourselves shall be last served.
Delay not, Caesar, read it instantly.
I pray your enterprise today may thrive.
What enterprise, Calpurnia?
Fare thee well.
What said her wife, Calpurnia? She wished today our enterprise might thrive. I fear our purpose is discovered. Cassius, be constant. Calpurnia speaks not of our purpose.
Are we all ready? What is today amiss that Caesar and her Senate must redress?
I kiss thy hand, but not in flattery, Caesar, desiring thee that unjust prisoners may have an immediate freedom of repeal.
What? Brutus? These couchings and lowly courtesies might fire the blood of ordinary men and turn preordinance and first decree into the law of children. Be not fond to think that Caesar bears such rebel blood, which will be thawed from the true quality by that which melteth fools. I mean, sweet words, low crooked courtesies, and base spaniel fawning.
Pardon, Caesar.
Their brothers, by decree, are banished. If thou wouldst bend and pray and fawn for them, I spurn thee like a cur out of my way. Know this, Caesar doth not wrong, nor without cause will she be satisfied.
Caesar, pardon. As low as to thy foot doth Cassius fall, desiring thee enfranchisement for prisoners.
I could well be moved if I was you. If I could pray to move, prayers would move me, but I am constant as the northern star, whose true fixed and resting quality knows no fellow in the firmament. The skies are painted with unnumbered sparks. They are all fire, and every one doth shine, but there's but one in all doth hold their place. So in the world is filled with people, and people are flesh and blood and apprehensive. But yet, in their number, I do know but one that, unshaked of motion, stays on her course, and I am she. Let me show it a little, even in this. Constant I was, these men should be banished, and constant do remain to keep them so.
Caesar.
Hence, wilt thou lift up
Most
Olympus?
mighty Caesar.
Doth Brutus bootless kneel? Ah!
Speak, hands, for me.
Et tu, Brute? Then fall, Caesar.
Liberty, freedom, and enfranchisement! Run hence! Proclaim! Cry it about the streets! Liberty, freedom, tyranny is dead! People and senators, be not affrighted! Fly not! Stand stiff! Ambition's debt is paid! There is no harm intended to your person nor to no Roman house. Let no man abide this deed, but we, the doers. Fates, we will know your pleasures. That we will die, we know. 'Tis but the time and drawing days out that men stand upon. Why? He that cuts off 20 years of life cuts off so many years of fearing death. Grant that, and then is death a benefit. So are we, Caesar's friends, that have abridged her time of fearing death. Stoop, Romans, stoop. Let us bathe our hands in Caesar's blood up to the elbows and besmear our swords. Stoop, then, and wash. How many ages hence shall this, our lofty scene, be acted over in states unborn and accents yet unknown? So oft as that shall be, so often shall the not of us be called the men that gave their country liberty. Aye, every man away. Soft. Who comes here? Mark Antony's servant.
Thus, Brutus, did my master bid me kneel. Thus did Mark Antony bid me fall down, and being prostrate, thus she bade me say, Brutus is noble, wise, valiant, and honest. Caesar was mighty, bold, royal, and loving. Say that I love Brutus and I honoured him. Say that I feared Caesar, honoured her, and loved her. If Brutus will vouchsafe that Antony may safely come to him and be resolved how Caesar hath deserved to lie in death, Antony shall not love Caesar dead so well as Brutus living, but will follow the fortunes and affairs of noble Brutus through the hazards of this untrod state with all true faith. So says my master Antony.
Tell her, so please her come unto this place. She shall be satisfied, and by mine honour depart untouched.
I'll fetch her presently.
I know that we shall have her well to friend. I wish we may, but yet have I a mind that fears her much, and my misgiving still falls shrewdly to the purpose. Welcome, Mark Antony.
Most mighty Caesar, dost thou lie so low? Are all thy triumphs, conquest, glories, spoils shrunk to this little measure? Fare thee well. I know not, gentlemen, what you intend. Who else must be let blood? Who else is rank? If I myself, there is no hour so fit as Caesar's death hour, nor no instruments of half that worth as those your swords, made rich with the most noble blood in all this world. Now, whilst your purpled hands do reek and smoke fulfill thy pleasure, live 1,000 years, I shall not find myself so apt to die. No place will please me better as here, by Caesar, and by yourselves cut off, the choice and master spirits of this age.
Oh. Antony, beg not your death of us. Our hearts you see not. They are pitiful. To you, our swords have leaden points, Mark Antony. Only be patient till we have appeased the multitudes, beside themselves with fear. Then we will deliver you the cause why I, that did love Caesar as I struck her, have thus proceeded.
I doubt not of your wisdom. Let each man render me his bloody hand. First, Marcus Brutus, do I shake with you? Next, Decius Brutus, do I take your hand? Now yours, Metellus. Come now. And my valiant Casca, yours. Last but not last in love, good Trebonius. Oh, Caius Cassius, do I shake with you? Senators all. Alas, what can I say? My credit now stands on such slippery ground that one of two bad ways you must conceit me, either a coward or a flatterer. But I did love thee, Caesar, 'tis true. If then thy spirit should look down on us now, would it not grieve thee dearer than thy death to see thy Antony making her peace, shaking the bloody fingers of your foes in the presence of thy corse? If I had as many eyes as thou hast wounds weeping as fast as they stream forth thy blood, it would become me better than to close in terms of friendship with thine enemies. Pardon me, Julius. Here wast thou made, brave heart, here dost thou lie, and here do thy hunters stand, signed in thy spoil and crimsoned in thy leap. Oh, how like a deer struck by many princes dost thou here lie.
Mark Antony.
Pardon me, Caius Cassius. The enemies of Caesar will say this. Therefore, in a friend, it is cold modesty.
I blame you not for praising Caesar so. Will you be pricked in number of our friends? Or shall we on and not depend on you?
Therein did I take your hand, but was indeed swayed from the point by looking down on Caesar. Friends am I with you all, and love you all, upon this hope that you will give me reasons why and wherefore Caesar was dangerous.
Or else were this a savage spectacle. Our reasons are so full of good regard that were you, Antony, daughter of Caesar, you should be satisfied.
That's all I wish. And am moreover suitor, that I may produce her body in the marketplace, and there in the pulpit, as becomes a friend, speak in the order of her funeral.
You shall, Mark Antony. Brutus, a word with you. Do not consent that Mark Antony speak in her funeral. Know you how much the people may be moved by that which she will utter? By your pardon, Cassius, I will myself into the pulpit first and speak the reason of our Caesar's death. What Mark Antony shall speak, I will protest she speaks by leave and by permission. It will advantage more than do us wrong. I know not what may fall, I like it not. Mark Antony, you will not, in your funeral speech, blame us, but speak all good of Caesar you can devise, and say you do it by leave and by permission. You will speak in the same pulpit whereto I am going after my speech is done.
Be it so. I do desire no more.
Prepare the body then, and follow us.
Pardon me, Julius, that I am meek and gentle with these butchers. Thou art the ruins of the noblest woman who ever lived in tide of times. Woe to the hands that shed this costly blood over thy wounds, which, like dumb mouths to ope their ruby lips to beg the voice and utterance of my tongue. Now do I prophesy. A curse will light on the limbs of men. Domestic fury shall cumber all the parts of the city. Blood and destruction will be so in use, and dreadful objects so familiar that mothers will but smile when they behold their infants courted with the hands of war. All pity choked with custom of fell deed and Caesar's spirit, ranging for revenge, shall in these confines cry with a monarch's voice, havoc. And let slip the dogs of war that this fell deed will smell above the earth with carrion men, groaning for burial. You serve Octavius Caesar, do you not? Caesar did write for your master to come to Rome. Is Octavius coming? Post back with speed and tell her what hath chanced. This is a mourning Rome, a dangerous Rome, no Rome of safety for Octavius to back. Hie back and tell her so. Yet stay a while. Thou shalt not back until I have borne this course into the marketplace. There, in my oration, will I try how the people take the cruel issue of these bloody men, the outcome of which you will discourse to Octavius.
Ten-minute intermission.
Hey guys, we're here backstage. Act 2 is going to start in approximately 10 seconds. This is my life now for the next 6 days.
No, okay, but just listen to me. I didn't do it.
Get off the
Hey, I
forum!
would have done it, but I didn't do it.
Murder!
Caesar gave me everything, and I still knew she had to die, so
Traitor!
guys.
Sinner.
Traitor! I will hear Brutus speak! I will hear Cassius speak! I will not hear you speak!
Romans,
Compare their
Romans,
reasons!
countrymen,
Oh,
and lovers,
Brutus is
hear me
speaking.
for my cause and
Silence!
be silent! Be silent!
Silence!
Be silent that you may hear! Believe me for mine honour, and have respect to mine honour, that you may believe. Awake your senses, censure me in your wisdom, that you may the better judge. If there be any in this assembly, any dear friend of Caesar's, to them I say that Brutus' love to Caesar was no less than theirs. If, then, that friend demand why Brutus rose against Caesar, this is my answer. Not that I loved Caesar less, but that I loved Rome more. Who is here that would rather Caesar living to die all slaves? Had you rather Caesar living to die all slaves, or Caesar dead to live all free men? As Caesar loved me, I weep for her. As she was fortunate, I rejoice at it. As she was valiant, I honour her. But as she was ambitious, I slew her. There is tears for her love, honour for her valour, joy for her fortune, and death for her ambition. Who is here so base that would be a bondman? If any speak, for them have I offended. Who is here so rude that would not be a Roman? If any speak, for them have I offended. Who is here so vile that will not love their country? If any speak, for them have I offended. I pause for a reply. Then none have I offended. Here comes her body, mourned by Mark Antony, who, though she had no hand in her death, shall receive the benefit of her dying, a place in the commonwealth, as which of you shall not? With this I depart, that as I slew my best lover for the good of Rome, I have the same dagger for myself, when it shall please my country to need my death. Countrymen, I do entreat you, let me depart alone. Let me depart alone, and for my sake, listen to Mark Antony's speech, which Mark Antony, by our permission, is allowed to give. Grace Caesar's corpse, and do grace to Antony's speech, tending Caesar's glories. I do entreat you, nobody depart, save I alone, until Mark Antony have spoke.
This Caesar was a tyrant, that is certain. We are blessed that Rome is rid of her.
Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. I come to bury Caesar, not to praise her. The evil that men do lives after them. The good is often interred with their bones. So let it be with Caesar. The noble Brutus hath told you Caesar were ambitious. If it were so, it were a grievous sin, and grievously hath Caesar answered it. Here, under leave of Brutus and the rest, for Brutus is an honourable man. So are they all, honourable men. Come I to speak in Caesar's funeral. She was my friend, faithful and just to me. But Brutus says she was ambitious. And Brutus is an honourable man. She hath brought many captives home to Rome, whose ransoms did the general coffers fill. Did this in Caesar seem ambitious? When that the poor have cried, Caesar hath wept. Ambition should be made of sterner stuff. Yet Brutus says she was ambitious. And Brutus is an honourable man. You all did see I did present her crown, which she did thrice refuse. Was this in Caesar ambitious? Yet Brutus says she was ambitious. I'm sure he is an honourable man. I come not to disprove what Brutus spoke, but come to speak what I do know. You all did love her once, not without cause. What cause withholds you then to mourn for her now? Judgment. Thou art fled to brutish beasts, and men have lost their reason. Bear with me. My heart is in the coffin there with Caesar, and I must pause till it comes back to me.
Methinks there is much reason in her sayings. If thou considers rightly of the matter, Caesar has had great wrongs. Hasn't she, masters? I fear there will a worse come in her place. Mark ye her words. Caesar would not take the crown. Therefore 'tis certain she was not ambitious. If it be found so, some will dare abide it. Poor soul. Antony's eyes are red as fire with weeping. There is not a nobler woman in Rome as Antony.
But yesterday the word of Caesar might have stood against the world. Now lies she there, and none so poor to do her reverence. O masters, if I were disposed to stir your hearts and minds to rage and mutiny, I would do Brutus wrong, and Cassius wrong, who you all know are honorable men. I will not do them wrong. I rather choose to wrong the dead, myself and you, before I will wrong such honorable men. But here's a parchment with the seal of Caesar. I found it in her closet. 'Tis her will, which, pardon me, I do not mean to read. Let but the commons hear this testament, they would go and kiss dead Caesar's wounds and dip their napkins in her sacred blood.
We'll hear the will. Read it, Mark Antony. The will, the will. We will hear Caesar's will. The will, the will. We will hear Caesar's will. The will.
Have patience, friends. I must not read it. You are not men. You are not stones. You are not wood. You are men. And being men, bearing the will of Caesar, it would inflame you. It would make you mad. It is not meet you know you are her heirs, for if you did, what would come of it?
Read the will.
But will you have patience? Will you wait a while? I have overshot myself to tell you of it, and I fear I wrong the honorable men whose daggers have stabbed Caesar. I do fear it.
They were traitors, honorable men. The will, the testament, they were villains, murderers.
You will compel me, then, to read the will?
Yes.
Then make a ring around the corpse of Caesar, and let me show you she that made the will. Shall I descend?
Come down.
Will you give me leave?
Descend, you shall have leave.
If you have tears, prepare to shed them now. You all do know this mantle. I remember the first day ever Caesar put it on. It was on a summer's eve in her tent that day she overcame the Gauls. Look, through this ran Cassius's dagger through. See what a rent the envious sinner made? Through this the well-beloved Brutus stabbed, and as he plucked his cursed steel away, mark how the blood of Caesar followed it, as if rushing out of doors, to be resolved if Brutus so unkindly knocked or no. For Brutus, as you know, was Caesar's angel. Judge, oh you gods, how dearly Caesar loved him. This was the most unkindest cut of all. For when the noble Caesar saw Brutus stab, ingratitude, more strong than traitors' arms, quite vanquished her.
Oh, piteous spectacle.
Then burst her mighty heart, and in her mantle muffling up her face, while all the while great Pompey's statue ran blood. Great Caesar fell.
Oh, noble Caesar.
Oh, what a fall there was, countrymen. Then I and you and all of us fell down while bloody treason flourished over us.
Oh, woeful day.
Now you weep, and I perceive feel the dint of pity. These are good tears, gracious tears.
Traitors, villains.
Weep you when you but behold our Caesar's vesture wounded.
Most bloody sight. We will be revenged. Revenge. About, burn, seek, kill, fire.
Stay, countrymen. Oh, gentle friends, you go to do you know not what. I come not to stir your minds to rage or mutiny. Those that have done this deed are honorable. What private griefs they had that made them do it, alas, I know not. They are wise and honorable, and will no doubt with reason answer you. I come not, friends, to steal your hearts away. I am no orator as Brutus is, but, as you all know, plain, blunt woman that loved her friend, and that they know that gave me public leave to speak of her, for I have neither wits, nor words, nor worth, actions, nor utterance, nor power of speech to stir men's blood. I only speak right on. I tell you what you yourselves do know. Show you dead Caesar's wounds, and let them speak for me. But were I Brutus, and Brutus Antony, there were an Antony that would ruffle up your spirits and put a tongue in every wound of Caesar that would stir your hearts and minds to rage and mutiny.
We'll mutiny! We'll burn the house of Brutus! Away! Come! Seek the conspirators!
Peace, friends! Good friends, you go to do you know not what. Wherein hath Caesar thus deserved your love? Alas, you know not. I must tell you then. You have forgotten the will of which I spoke.
Most true! The will! Let's stay and hear the will!
Here is Caesar's will. And under Caesar's seal, to every Roman citizen, to every several one, she leaves 75 gold coins.
Oh, royal Caesar!
Moreover, she had left you all her walks, her private arbors, her new planted orchards. She had left them for you.
Oh, most noble Caesar.
And your heirs forever.
Oh,
Common pleasures to walk abroad and recreate yourselves.
we will be revenged.
Here was a Caesar. When comes such another?
Never. Never. Come. We will burn her body in the holy place, and with the brands, fire the traitors' houses. Come. Pluck down benches, windows, forms, anything.
Now let it work. Mischief thou art afoot, take what course thou wilt. Sir, Octavius Caesar is come to Rome. She is at Julius Caesar's house, and thither will I straight to visit her. She comes upon a wish. Fortune is merry, and in this mood will grant us anything. I heard her say Brutus and Cassius are rid like madmen through the streets of Rome. Belike they had some notice of the people, how I had moved them. Bring me to Octavius. Love is like a river between two bodies. That's good. I dreamt tonight that I did dine with Caesar, and things unlucky charged my fantasy. I have no will to wander forth of doors, yet something draws me forth.
What's your name?
Whither are you going?
Where do you dwell?
Are you a married woman or a bachelorette?
Answer everyone directly.
Aye, and briefly.
Aye, and wisely.
Aye, and truly it were best.
What is my name? Whither am I going?
Yeah.
Am I a married woman or a bachelorette?
Yeah.
Yes, it's obvious.
And where do I dwell?
Yeah.
Then to answer every man directly and briefly, wisely and truly, wisely I say I am a bachelorette.
Oh, that is to say that they are fools that marry.
Yeah.
You'll bear me a bang for that, I warrant. For your dwelling, proceed directly.
Directly I dwell by the capital.
Whither are you going?
I'm going to Caesar's funeral.
As a friend or an enemy?
As a friend.
Your name, ma'am. Truly.
Truly, my name is Cinna.
Tear her to pieces! She's a conspirator!
No, I am Cinna the poet. I am Cinna the poet.
Prove it.
Yeah, do some poetry.
Love is like a river between two bodies.
Oh, that's bad.
Tear her for her bad verses!
Tear her verses! Ladies, gentlemen, she's, gays, and theys, allow me to introduce to you the opulent the brilliant, the extremely adoptable. It's 4 years later, and she's about to inherit all of Julius's legions. She calls herself the Imperator, but you will call her Octavius. Woo! Octavius! We love you! Oh my God, it's really her! Oh my God, it's Octavius! Oh my God! Oh. Yes, Queen! Oh my God! I love you so much! Octavius, notice me!
Quiet. I said, quiet.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
These many, then, must die. Their names are pricked. Your friend, too, must die. Consent you, Octavius? Upon condition your nephew shall not live. He shall not live. Look, with a spot I damn him. Is it fit an unmerited man, the threefold world divided, should stand as one of the three to share it? So you thought him, and took his voice who should be pricked to die in our black sentence and prescription? Octavius, I have seen more days than you, and though we lay these honours on this man to ease ourselves of diverse slanderous loads, he shall but bear them as the ass bears gold, led and driven under the burden as we point the way. Then, when get we to the point proposed, take we down his burden and send him out to Shakers' airs and Grayson Commons. Well, you may do your will, but he's a tried and valiant soldier. So is my horse, Octavius. And therefore do I appoint him store of provender. It is a creature that I teach to fight, to wind, to run directly on, his corporal motion governed by my spirit. And so, in some way, is this same man but so. A barren-spirited fellow, he must be taught and trained and bid go forth, one who feeds on abjects, orts, and imitations. Then, when staled by other men, thus begin his fashion. Think not of him, but as property. And now, Octavius. Octavius, listen. Great things. Brutus and Cassius are levying powers. Therefore, let our alliance be combined, our means stretched, our best friends made, and let us presently go sit in council, how covert matters may be best disclosed and open perils surest answered. Let us do so, for we are at the stake and bayed about with many enemies, and some that smile have in their hearts, I fear, millions of mischiefs.
Stand.
Give the word and stand.
What news, sinner? Comes Cassius on?
He is at hand.
Well, in his own change or by ill offices, he hath given me some cause to wish things done undone. But if he be at hand, I shall be satisfied.
I do not doubt but that Caius Cassius will appear.
He is not doubted. A word, sinner. How he received you, let me be resolved.
With courtesies and respect enough, but not with such free and familiar instances as he hath used of old.
Thou hast described a hot friend cooling. But ever note, sinner, when love begins to sicken and decay, there are no tricks in plain and simple faith, but hollow men, like horses hot at hand, make gallant show and promise of their mettle. But when they should endure the bloody spur, they fall their crests, and like deceitful jades, sink in the trial. Comes his army on?
They mean this night at Sardis to be quartered, but the greater part, the horse in general, are come with Cassius.
Hark! He has arrived. Most noble brother, you have done me wrong. Judge me, you gods. Wrong I mine enemy? And if not so, how should I wrong a brother? Brutus, this sober form of yours hides wrongs, and when you do them, Cassius, be content. Before the eyes of both our armies here, which should perceive nothing but love from us, let us not wrangle. Speak your griefs softly. I do know you well. Bid the armies move away a little from this ground, and then, in my tent, Cassius, enlarge your griefs. I shall give you audience. Sinner, bid our commanders move their charges off a little from this ground, and let no man come into our tent till we have done our counsel. Go! That you have wronged me doth appear in this. You have condemned and noted a good Roman for taking bribes here of the Sardians, wherein my letters praying on his side, because I knew the man was slighted off. You wronged yourself to write in such a case. In such a time as this, it is not meet that every nice offence should bear his comment. Let me tell you, Cassius, you yourself are much condemned to have an itching palm, to sell and mart your offices for wares to undeservers. Aye, an itching palm. You know that you are Brutus that speak this, or, by the gods, this speech were else your last. The name of Cassius honors this corruption, and chastisement doth therefore hide his head. Chastisement! Remember, March, the Ides of March. Remember? Did not great Julius bleed for justice' sake? What villain touched her body that did stab and not for justice? What? Shall one of us that struck the foremost woman of this world but for supporting robbers, shall we now contaminate our fingers with base bribes to sell the mighty space of our large honours for so much trash as may be grasped thus? I had rather be a dog and bay the moon than such a Roman. Brutus, bay not me, I'll not endure it. I am a soldier, I, older in practice, abler than yourself to make conditions. Go to, Cassius. You are not. Do not presume too much upon my love. Urge me no more. I shall forget myself. Have mind upon your health. Tempt me no further. Away, slight man. Hear me. For I will speak. Must I give way and room to your rash choler? Must I budge? Must I observe you? Must I stand and crouch under your testy humour by heaven? You will digest the venom of your spleen, though it do split you. For, from henceforth, I'll use you for my mirth, yea, for my laughter, when you are waspish. When Caesar lived, she durst not thus have tempted me. Peace. Peace. You durst not so have tempted her. What? I durst not. No, What? Durst not tempt her? For your life you durst not. Do not presume too much upon my love. I may do that I shall be sorry for. You have done that you should be sorry for. There is no terror, Cassius, in your threats, for I am armed so strong in honesty that they pass by me as the idle wind, which I respect not. I did send to you for gold, which you denied me. By heaven, I had rather coin my heart and drop my blood for gold than to wring from the hard hands of peasants their vile trash by any indirection. I did send to you for gold to pay my legions, which you denied me. Was that done like Cassius? Should I have answered Caius Cassius so? When Marcus Brutus grows so covetous to lock such rascal counters from his friends, be ready, gods, with all your thunderbolts. Dash him to pieces. You wrong me every way, Brutus. You wrong me. They were but a fool that brought my answer back. Brutus hath rived my heart. A friend should bear his friend's infirmities. But Brutus makes mine greater than they are. I do not, till you practice them on me. You love me not. I do not like your faults. A friendly eye could never see such faults. A flatterers would not, though they do appear as huge as high Olympus. Come, Antony, and young Octavius, come. Revenge yourselves alone on Cassius, for Cassius is aweary of this world, hated by one he loves, braved by his brother, checked like a bondman, all his faults observed, sit in a notebook, conned and learned by rote to cast into my teeth. Oh, I could weep my spirit from mine eyes. There's my dagger. If that thou beest a Roman, take it forth. I, that denied thee gold, will give my heart. Strike as thou didst at Caesar, for I know when thou didst hate her worst, thou lovedst her better than ever thou lovedst Cassius. Sheath your dagger. Be angry when you will. It shall have scope. Do what you will. Dishonor shall be humor. Hath Cassius lived to be but mirth and laughter to his Brutus, when grief and blood ill-tempered vexeth him? When I spoke that, I was ill-tempered too. Do you confess so much? Give me your hand. And my heart, too. Oh, Brutus, what's the matter? Have not you love enough to bear with me when that rash humor which my mother gave me makes me forgetful? Yes, Cassius, and from henceforth, when you are over-earnest with your Brutus, he'll think your mother chides and leave you so. Portia! Portia? A bowl of wine? I did not think you could have been so angry. Oh, Cassius, I am sick of many griefs. Of your philosophy you make no use if you give place to accidental evils. No man bears sorrow better. Portia is dead. Oh, insupportable and touching loss. How scaped I killing when I crossed you so? Upon what sickness? Impatient of my absence and grief that young Octavius with Mark Antony have made themselves so strong. For with her death, that tidings came. With this she fell distract, and her attendants absent, swallowed fire, and died so. Even so. Come in, sinner. Now sit we close, and call in question our necessities. Sinner, I have here received letters that young Octavius with Mark Antony come down upon us with a mighty power, bending their expedition toward Philippi.
Myself have letters of the self-same tenor.
With what addition?
That by prescription and bills of outlawry, Octavius, Antony, and all their men have put to death 100 senators. Have you your letters from your wife, my lord?
No, sinner.
Then, like a Roman, bear this truth I tell. For certain she is dead, and by strange manner. Even so, great losses must great men so endure.
I have as much of this in art as you. But yet my nature could not bear it so. Well, to our work alive. What do you think of marching to Philippi? I do not think it good. Your reasons? This it is. It is better that the enemy seek us. So shall she waste her means, weary her soldiers, doing herself offence, whilst we, lying still, are full of rest, defence, and nimbleness. Good reasons. Must of force give place to better. Hear me, good brother, by your pardon. You must note beside that we have tried the utmost of our friends. Our legions are brimful. Our cause is ripe. The enemy increaseth every day. We, at the height, are ready to decline. There is a tide in the affairs of men, which, taken at the flood, leads on to fortune. Omitted, all the voyage of their life is bound in shallows and in miseries. On such a full sea are we now afloat, and we must take the current when it serves, or lose our ventures. Then, with your will, go on. We'll along ourselves and meet them at Philippi. The deep of night is crept upon our talks, and nature must obey necessity. Early tomorrow will we rise, and so farewell, both. Murderous slumber. How ill this taper burns. Who comes there? I think it is the weakness of mine eyes that shapes this monstrous apparition. It comes upon me. Art thou anything? Art thou some god, some angel, or some devil that makest my blood cold and my hair to stare? Speak to me what thou art,
thy evil spirit, Brutus.
Why comest thou?
To tell thee thou shalt see me at Philippi.
Well, then I shall see thee again.
Aye, at Philippi.
Why? I shall see thee at Philippi then. Now I have taken heart. Thou vanishest. Ill spirit, I would hold more talk with thee. Girl? Portia? Girl! Portia, awake! Awake.
My lord?
Didst thou dream, Portia, that thou so criedst out?
My lord, I did not know that I did cry out.
That thou didst? Didst thou see anything?
Nothing, my lord.
Sleep again, Portia.
Now, Antony, our hopes are answered. You said they would not come forth, but keep the upper regions. It proves not so. They mean to warn us at Philippi here, answering before we do a demand of them. I am in their bosoms, and I know wherefore they did it. They could be content to visit other places. They come down with a mighty power, thinking that by doing so to fasten in our minds that they have courage. But 'tis not so. Prepare you, generals. The enemy comes on in gallant show, with bloody sign of battle hung out, and something to be done immediately. Octavius, lead your battle softly on upon the left hand of the even field. Upon the right hand keep thou the left. Why do you cross me in this exigent? I do not cross you, but I will do so.
They stand and would have parley.
Mark Antony, shall we give sign of battle? No, Caesar, we will answer on their charge. Make forth, the generals would have some words. Stir not until the signal.
Words before blows. Is it so, countrymen?
Not that we love words better, as you do.
Good words are better than bad strokes, Octavius.
In your bad strokes, Brutus, you gave good words. Witness the hole you made in Caesar's heart, crying,
Long live, hail Caesar! Antony, the posture of your blows is yet unknown, but for your words, they rob the Hyblobes and leave them honeyless.
Not stingless, too.
Oh, yes, and soundless, too. For you have stolen their buzzing, Antony, and very wisely threat before you sting.
Villains, thou didst not when your daggers hacked one another in the sides of Caesar. You showed your teeth like apes, and bowed like bondmen, and fawned like dogs, whilst damned conspirators like curs struck Caesar from behind. Oh, you flatterers.
Oh, flatterers. Now, Brutus, thank yourself.
Come. If arguing makes us sweat, the proof of it will turn to redder drops. Look, I draw a sword against conspirators. When think you that sword goes up again? Never, till Caesar's 33 wounds be well avenged. Or until another Caesar hath added slaughter to the swords of traitors.
Caesar, thou canst not die by traitors' swords unless thou bringst them with thee.
So I should hope. I was not born to die on Brutus' sword. Come, Antony. Defiance, traitors, hurl we in your teeth. If you would have battle today, come to the field. If not, When you have stomach.
Why now? Blow, wind, swell, billow, and swim, bark. The storm is up, and all is on the hazard. Now, most noble Brutus, the gods today stand friendly that we may, lovers in peace, lead on our days to age. But since the affairs of men rest still uncertain, let's reason with the worst that may befall. If we do lose this battle, then is this the very last time that we shall speak together. Then if we lose this battle, you are contented to be led in triumph through the streets of Rome. No, Cassius, no. Do not think that ever Brutus will go bound to Rome. He bears too great a mind. But this same day must end that work, the Ides of March begun. And whether we shall meet again, I know not. Therefore, our everlasting farewell take. If we meet again, why? We shall smile then. If not, why then? This parting was well made. Forever and forever farewell, Brutus. 'Tis true. If we meet again, we'll smile indeed. If not, this parting was well made. Ooh.
Check. Ride! Let them all come down! Checkmate.
No. No. Myself have to mine own turned enemy.
Oh, Cassius! Brutus gave the word too early, having some advantage on Octavius. His soldiers fell to spoil, whilst we, by Antony, are all enclosed.
Sinner.
Fly far off, my lord, fly far off.
Sinner.
Mark Antony is in our tent,
Get higher on that hill, and tell me what thou notest about the field. This day I breathed first. And where I did begin, oh God, there shall I end. My life has run his compass. What news, sir?
My lord,
What news?
our men are now enclosed all around by those who make to them on the spur. Now they light too. They're taken, and hark, they shout for joy.
Come down. Behold no more. Coward that I am, to live so long to see my best men ta'en before my face. Come hither, sir. Come hither. In Parthia, I swore thee, saving thy life, that whatsoever thou did bid me do, thou shouldst attempt it. Come now. Keep thine oath. And with this good sword that ran through Caesar's bowels, search this bosom. Wait! When my face is covered, as it is now, guide thou the sword. Caesar, thou art revenged, even with the sword that killed thee.
But Cassius is no more. O setting sun, as in thy red rays thou dost set tonight, so in his red blood Cassius's day is set.
He is slain. Oh. Julius Caesar, thou art mighty yet. Thy spirit walks abroad and turns our swords. It is impossible that ever Rome should breed thy fellow. Friends, I owe more tears to this dead man than you shall see me pay. I shall find time, Cassius. I shall find time. Come, poor remains of friends. Let's rest here. Hark thee, my good sinner. What ill request did Brutus make to thee?
To kill him, Brutus.
The ghost of Caesar hath appeared to me several times by night here in Philippi fields.
No.
I know my hour is come. Nay, I am sure it is. Our enemies have beat us to the pit. The world, it goes. It is more worthy that we leap in ourselves than tarry till they push us. Sinner, good woman, thou knowst that we two went to school together. Even for that, our love of old, I prithee, hold thou my hilts, guide the sword. Farewell to you, and you, and you, my dear sinner. I shall have glory by this losing day, more than young Octavius and Mark Antony by their vile conquest shall attain unto. Then end my life at once, for Brutus' tongue hath almost ended his life's histories. Night hangs upon mine eyes. My bones would rest that have but laboured to attain this hour. I prithee, sinner, stay thou by thy Lord. Thou art a woman of a good respect. thy life hath had some smatch of honour in it. I prithee, sinner, hold my sword hilts. Wilt thou, sinner?
Give me your hand first. Farewell, my lord.
Farewell, good sinner. Caesar, now be still. I killed not thee with half so good a will.
Play this record as frequently as possible.